Shabbat Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Makah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Ken. And here we have another open mockery of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and the scriptures. Okay, in this new series, rather than a new series, it was out 4 years ago. It's called Miracle Workers, and really it's just season one, because what you have is different themes for different seasons. So to begin the show, right, in order to create a buzz for it and to get people to view it, what do? They make an open mockery of the scriptures, because at the end of the day, no matter how much these people claim to not believe in the scriptures and claim that, the Bible is a book of fairy tales, the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is this or that, at the end of the day, you know, the best way to get people's attention is to openly shame and rebuke, openly shame and mock the scriptures, the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the angels, and all the things that has to do with the Bible. So we'll start from there. As it is written, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes 10 verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. And that's exactly what you see in this kingdom, as with this and the book of clearance. You already have two different shows I have to go and watch to point out all the rebuke that to do videos to do videos on as well. And for some strange reason I'm mixing up rebuke and mockery, but really this is what this kingdom is all about. And it shows you right here where they make light, okay, and they openly mock the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. They openly mock the scriptures and the things that concern this truth. And this is, and let me just play a little bit of this trailer so you can see it for yourself, where they changed. Let's go. And you have to bear with me for there being no audio, mainly because right now, right now I'm still in the hospital trying to just snuck out, trying to find a quiet place to do a video. So I can't really play the audio too much. You have to be ready for that. And you see what this really going into is the operation of the heavens. And this is what they're actually mocking. The way that the heavens operate, the way that prayers are answered. That's why you see all these letters are. They're actually just prayers. And you can see right there written Eliza, the Department of Prayer Sorting. So that is exactly what this is actually making a mockery of. And if you watch the trailer, you find out that a part of the plot is that, God, okay, which is actually played by, if you know this actor, Steve Buscemi, that God has decided to bring an end to the world. And what do the angels gather together to do? The main character, of course, being that guy from Harry Potter, they decide to save the world from, or try to convince the God in this series to stop the end of the world. That's exactly what this whole Miracle Worker season one is going into. And that's enough of that. So now you should have an idea of why I consider this an open mockery to the Most High, Yahweh Hashem, basically to the whole host of heavens, or the heavens, okay? And this is what these people do. So let me get First Timothy. I believe that's the fourth chapter, as it's written in the last days, right? Okay, that's first. Okay, this is First Thessalonians. So okay, First Timothy. So this is a book. Hold on, this isn't the correct one. Let me find that. Let me find what I'm looking for. Here it is. So this is the book. Hold on. There it is. So this is the book of Second Timothy 3 verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce despisers of those that are good, traitors, heedy, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than the lovers of the Most High Yahweh Shami Oshai. And really, what I wanted to go into is these scoffers and mockers, okay? An example of that is what you just saw. Whether it's Jake that's in the world coming against this truth, or Esau Edom, the elite of Esau Edom, making all these movies and series to mock the scriptures, to mock the Most High, okay? Open blasphemy against the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. This is what the scriptures talk about when it says that. Let's get that. You have the image. Let's get that. Let's see the book of Revelation 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And this is the example of that blasphemy right here. Going all the way back to Job 9 verse 24, that he covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he? So basically, in that whole series, right, you see the angels, looking the way they do. You see the Most High looking the way He does, and you see the heavens looking the way it does, basically likening it to corporate America, which is wicked as hell. Because anybody that knows the ins and outs of corporate America in this truth knows that it is wicked as hell. Okay, so even just that in and of itself, even just the whole series, comparing, likening the heavens, comparing the heavens to corporate America, is already going off. Okay, it's already blasphemy against the Most High, and the heavens, and we already know how the heavens operate according to the scriptures. We know what the Most High looks like, we know what the angels look like, and we know how prayers are answered, and we know that there is no disobedience from the angels when it comes to the words of when it comes to the commands of the Most High Yahweh Sham Yahweh. But in that series, you will see, basically all the opposite of that. And of course, it always ends with the all important lesson of, you know, not worrying about the end of the world, basically. Oh, well, just because God, right, wants the end of the world doesn't mean that the world has to actually end. Let's try and save it. And really, all it is just a fantasy that Esau Edom is using his media to fulfill for himself, in the sense that he believes that somehow, some way, he can turn back the destruction, turn back the end of the world, and cause the Most High Yahweh Shami Washai to not bring destruction upon this kingdom. And let me not really say end of the world, because it's not really the end of the world, but the end of Esau's kingdom. But this is how these devils frame it. They frame it as though it is the end of the world. Like, if this kingdom ends, there can be nothing after. Like, if this kingdom ends, that's it. That's the total end. Yeah. That if this kingdom ends, that's it. That is the total end. There is nothing after it. But to know that that is false, okay? The actual, because this kingdom is not an end, but rather a beginning. Not even a means to an end, but a means to a beginning. That's really what this kingdom that we're currently in right now is, a means to a beginning, and that beginning is the beginning of the kingdom of Israel. Okay, so this is the book of Second Ezra 16 verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Get up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? And that's basically the point right there. They cannot, okay, Esau, Edom cannot turn back the destruction that is coming, cannot turn back the end of his kingdom, okay? And this kingdom will come to an end. And we already know that the end of this kingdom is here, okay? Which is why you see in these last days, let's get that. Let's get that. So let's get that. In these last days, you see that the scoffing and the mocking of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, has become even more, has become even more prevalent. It has doubled, it has tripled, it's become more common. Okay. So this is the book of Second Peter 3, verse 1. Okay, so let me just go to the main point. Second Peter 3, verse 3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts, right? The directors, the actors, the producers, everybody involved in that film was involved in open mockery against the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, really against all the heavens, and even you, Jake, as well, even you Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. This is what, yeah, so like, this is what you know, this kingdom really is all about mocking us, our heritage, our religion, our culture, and bringing it, bringing mockery, mock, Salakia. Basically just mockery of the Most High, Yahweh, Shani, or Shai. Okay, so now, no, okay, so now I want to get this right? So this is the book of Galatians 6 verse 7. Be not deceived, for the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that he shall also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall reap of the flesh corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Right. So you basically, you Edomites, you devils, you have a lot to pay for. You scoffers, you mockers, you have a lot to pay for as well. Because, yeah, when we're talking about, we focused on one instance or one example of scoffing and mocking the scriptures and the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But let's not forget, this is not the only example. There are so many more and so many people out there in the world, even those that know that they are Israelites, that do this every single day. So this is the book of First Timothy 4, verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. This is a different example of scoffing and mocking. And basically, all of you scoffers, all you reprobates that are constantly speaking against the words of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, even going as far as to speak against the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai himself. The Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to bring his swift judgment upon you. First Timothy 4, verse 2. Speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. So with that, I'll end the video right there. So like, hold on, let me read that again from the top. First Timothy 4, verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. And because it is the end, they are seeing so many of these scoffs. They're seeing so much scoffing against the Most High and His Son, against the heavens, against, basically the whole, or against basically this whole truth, and this whole truth. And this is why the scriptures say that, in the latter times there shall be many antichrists rise up. Because notice that, and I didn't see it in the trailer, so I don't know if it's actually be in the series, but notice that there was no Yahweh Shai, no Yeah, basically, no Yahweh Shai, just say it like that. That there was no Yahweh Shai, okay, no Savior. Because once again, First John 2, verse 18, little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard, the Antichrist shall come. Even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. So with that, I'll end the video right there. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakah Kwadash, Wa Abad Babal, until the spirit of you Akyam and you abide. Shalom.